As summer begins to wind down and schools prepare to open their doors once again, that also means that football season is officially back. This past week, the Rockets suited up and hit the gridiron to begin building upon last year's promising season. This year's squad welcomes back several key players that are optimistic heading into September. We spoke to members of their team on their annual media day about what lies ahead for 2023. Take a look.
Go.
That's the best one.
As fall quickly approaches, Needham football is back on the gridiron for their first week of practice. Last season, they were a relatively young squad who improved throughout the year. Fast forward to now, that young core is the new makeup for a team hopeful to make some noise in 2023.
We have a lot of returning starters this year, so lots of anticipation for the season. We're all ready to go. We've had a really successful offseason in terms of training, field work. We're a close group of kids, and I think we're ready to play.
We have a pretty good core coming back. We have, I think, around 14 out of our 22 starters returning, and we've got a great group in terms of leadership, very high character kids, and some very strong athletes, especially in that junior and senior class. And then we've got some sophomores who are really learning to step up their game this year.
Since we had so many young guys on the team last year and we only lost a few seniors, it's great that everyone developed in the off season and everyone's come back stronger. So I think we're going to use that to our advantage this year and have a successful season from it.
You know, we've known about that group for a while. They've really been sticking together since Needham junior football, so maybe 7th grade or so. And it's a group that honestly keeps getting better and better. They're very close off the field, they're very close on the field, they work well together, they communicate, and there are a lot of kids in that grade who maybe haven't had an opportunity before who are starting to step up and compete for starting spots as well.
Instead of electing traditional captains, there is a leadership council that is formed based off votes from the players. This year, it's comprised of 7 different voices, including Jake and Tate, that are hopeful to keep the team on track and competitive throughout the season.
This is probably one of the better leadership groups that we've been around. Our leadership council, they actually had so many kids in that current senior class that instead of voting for the normal 6, they elected 7. They were all very close in the voting. So we have a ton of different leaders from there. We have a couple kids at wide receiver, Jace Hannigan and Spencer Chapman. We have a couple of linemen, and Dave Curtis and Sean Murphy. We have a quarterback, Josh Morant. And then Jake Reiser and Tate Hoffmeister are coming back. So we are really well rounded. We've got a lot of different voices. They all have different skills that they can bring to the table, and they're really trying to keep us on track in the preseason so we're ready to hit the ground running in week 1 against Natick.
As a sophomore, I started off pretty naive and didn't really play a huge role. I felt like I wasn't the biggest part of the team. And as I've grown older and become kind of a big player, it's huge because I can really take leadership and make these younger guys feel like they belong as well. And some sophomore that might be in my position, they'll feel kind of closer to the team and have a bigger part than I felt when I was younger.
I just want to have competitiveness and just working as a unit. I think everyone can really benefit from being close together as a team and as friends. And I think if we stick together this season, we'll be successful.
There's been some QB1 turnover the past couple of seasons, and this year is no different. That begs the question, who will get the keys to the offense come week 1?
So Josh Morant's going to be our QB this year. I have some high hopes for him. I think he's going to play really well. He struggles with some confidence sometimes, but I think this year he's going to really step it up. He had a great offseason, and he gained strength, and his throwing has been a lot better, so I'm really excited for it.
We've got 3 quarterbacks that are all going out and competing, and then we have, it's Tyler who's a sophomore, that's Griff who's a junior, and that's Josh who's a senior. And then on top of those guys who all get along, all work hard, we also have, Aiden Williams who's a great athlete who can play the quarterback position as well. So very happy about how that looks.
I have a lot of confidence in Josh as our QB this season. I think he'll lead the team well. He's been working a lot this offseason, and I think fundamentally he's a great QB, so I have a lot of confidence in him.
Despite one of the better campaigns in recent years last season, the boys still fell short of the playoffs. With a strong core coming back, they detail what is necessary to get over the hump to be playing for a purpose into November.
I think we need to become together as a team, and Coach Kopsko always talks about family. It's one of our main core values, so building that camaraderie and building character with our team is going to be huge, especially with the senior and junior class. We're already very close, but I think the closer we get and the more better we get at picking each other up, it's going to be a huge aspect of us winning games and being successful.
I think this year we just need to stick together as a team, work through adversity, and make sure that we're listening to our coaches. We have trust in our coaches, and when times get tough, just working through that as a team.
I think it's going to take a more consistent approach, whether that's coaches and players and everybody, just making sure that we're dedicated to those kind of boring processes that allow us to be successful. So we've got the right guys, we've got the right character, we've got great athletes, we've got the right schemes. Now, can we be consistent enough week in and week out that we don't have, a good week one week and then a little bit of an off week the next week? So that consistency is going to play a big part, and I know we've got the leaders to do it, we've got the coaches to do it, we've got the players to do it. So excited to see how it shakes out this year.
Rockets!